Coach Myers said, I think on Monday, that when Weber gets back, he's going to be rewarded. What does that mean? Does he go back into the starting lineup?
Look, I mean, I'm talking about not only what he's going to be rewarded because again, I think I trust with the winter he had, the summer he had going, summer he had going. He's missed a little bit of time, but hopefully he'll get kind of like Marcus Ball. The more Marcus is kind of back now, he's getting stronger. Might take him a little bit back to get his practice volume and game volume up, but he was having an awesome deal to injury. We're going to try to work hard this week to keep bringing him along and hopefully get him in the mix.
Coach, we've heard a lot about the run-pass option and how well that fits JT's strengths, but we've also heard a lot about how Dwayne Haskins needs to be brought along, and he kind of has a different skill set. With a stronger arm, seems to be more of a drop-back passer. How do you differentiate getting JT ready and game planning for his strengths, but also bringing Dwayne Haskins along when he might have a different skill set?
I think the way over time some things offensively have evolved, because I think years ago, if you really had one quarterback that was run-oriented and one quarterback that wasn't, it was like two different offenses. Right now, the difference is you can maybe block the read key and let the throw guy read a linebacker or a safety or perimeter player. And if you have a running guy, you can maybe have him read the defensive end and be a run threat. So, but the linemen are blocking the same play. So it's really not a new play. There might be a subtle adjustment, and then you play on the kids. And we're doing it with JT. Right now, JT has run options, he has throw options, and when Dwayne's in the other night, Dwayne had a couple run options even in the few plays he had where there's a run choice. So, you play to the strength of the guys. If there's, I think a lot of us years ago stumbled in some things. It's not two different offenses, and that really helps left guard, outside receivers. It helps those players bring along. So it's not that big a deal personally. It's just you play to what the kid can do.
Kevin, Coach Meyer said yesterday, he was going to give a directive, or he gave a directive. I mean, he'd like to see more of the run pass option. Have y'all gotten into something here that you think really fits the personnel? I mean, just what's your feel on that coming out of the Army game and heading into this one?
We didn't really. There wasn't a whole lot of change. It was just emphasis of things that were there. Trying to get a direction on where to get started and get moving. Where again, I felt coming out of preseason, the first couple games, I allowed it to, with all the ideas, to maybe just get watered down and all over the place. We didn't take anything out. I think we just looked at what we thought would be best to attack the structure of Army's defense. And each week it's a different structure, whether it be who you're blocking, it's different stress points, who the issues of who you can and can't block, and the coverage guys and spaces or whatever you're trying to do. So each week you emphasize different things. We just tried to just trim it down and get a little direction, to get a little confidence in practice, to take that to the game field. We started okay, and we had a couple lulls in the second quarter. A couple calls didn't got us a little bit out of whack. But for the most part, the guys played well, and just the emphasis of just trying to get started with the direction.
Have you seen
stumbling?
Yeah, I didn't mean stumbling. I mean, you had it in the arsenal, so to speak. But is JT well suited to run that a lot? I mean, what's your take on that? Because that's kind of what Coach Meyer said. Kind of plays to his strengths.
Well, again, I think he, like a lot of really running guys, can't throw. A lot of throwing guys can't run. I think JT's kind of pretty adequate at both. I mean, there's some guys who are going to be actually more dynamic runners because he's a good running quarterback. There's guys that, the bigger guys like Tebow and Cam Newton were bigger, more powerful. You got the real fast guys. I mean, he's a solid, adequate runner. He's a solid, adequate passer. I think you put them both together, and when both things get working, he makes our offense complete. And I think you can say, hey, a guy has a strong arm. A guy could be a better runner. To me, he's kind of very adequate at both, and when we get both going, I think it's when we're at our best. So,
what kind of challenges UNLV's defense present?
It's a little, again, because they started out, they had an open day week. They started in a four-man structure. You're looking at last year's stuff. They started out with Idaho and Howard. They struggled in the first game, gave up points. Cam Newton's brother had a tremendous game for Howard, by the way, for what it's worth. But they bounced back the next week and traveled to Idaho, got after them. They got nothing loose. So to me, it's kind of like last week. We felt Army would come in and blitz every play from all angles. Maybe these guys don't blitz, but we're going to be ready to adjust. We're trying to keep our direction, move forward, build on it, and we need to be ready to adjust and adapt.
Do you have a meeting time set for when the decision on the number 2 quarterback will be made? Like, is it Thursday at 8? I mean, do you know?
I typically show up at 7. I'm just trying to get the offense going. And I'm very comfortable. I mean, Dwayne played well. Joe's back going. Tate has been outstanding. Did phenomenal last couple of weeks of our scout team prep. Has been recognized by the coaches, by his peers. He's coming along. There's a good vibe. I think I made a comment last week. It was really good to see the Dwayne have a great week of practice when a lot of people are talking. And we've only had one day, but we had a good go today.
So would it be a coin flip? And what would it be? Would it be a game? Would it be a in-game kind of decision? I mean, do you like to go into a game with a pecking order just in case?
I think Coach Day and Coach Meyer, they're my deal is seeing the big picture in tight ends.
Yeah.
And Ryan's awesome, and again, they're both getting work. Dwayne now's played a few snaps a game. Joe's played I think a little last year, so we'll see it. Tough deal is we've started some games we haven't played well, and that last game was because of the dynamic of the game. We haven't had a chance to play some young guys as much as you'd like, but we've also played some 3 really good teams, and we've been battle tested. But it would be great in time to keep bringing the young guys along.
Speaking of tight ends, Rashad Berry was in there early last week. I mean, in the nitty gritty.
We felt he's coming. So is Luke. I felt he had the better week of practice. This week, it's quite honestly, I can tell you that one because I know that decision. The guy that goes first will be the guy that has the best week of special teams practice. And so who does? Coach Combs is going to tell me which one of those tight ends goes first this week, as far as the backup. Last week we were doing a lot of tempo, a lot of fast stuff, and we're doing a lot of stuff where we didn't spread it out in 10 personnel, so we needed a tight end. I thought Rashad had the best week of prep. He went first. Luke got some plays. Jake Hausman got in this week. I expect them all to play, especially the top 3, and I'll let Coach Combs decide which one goes.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
All right, man. Thank you.